I've talked many times in this channel about my infatuation with Galileo Galilei, the father of modern science. He, more than any other individual, applied the tools of the scientific method to uncover new truths using evidence to back hypotheses that he himself and others had conjectured. With a tiny tube no longer than his own arm, he figuratively displaced the Earth from the position of centrality that it had enjoyed for millennia before he turned the telescope to the heavens. This, like Archimedes, gave us a lever big enough to move the world. And yet, in some ways, his most magnificent contribution was what was called the Assayer, or Il Saggiatore. In this wonderful book, Galileo laid out arguments for and against the existence of comets being phenomena in our atmosphere or in the heavens itself. It's a wonderful book, but I thought it would be wise to discuss this project as it relates to my channel and what I hope to do on this channel, to be an assayer of a certain type. What is an assayer? An assayer is an individual who has a piece of stone. And with this piece of stone, he scrapes something that is putatively ascribed to be gold, perhaps by the king. The king comes to the assayer and says, test this piece of gold, which I think is gold, and tell me if I got a good deal or not. The assayer takes the piece of gold and tests it by scraping, and if it rubs off in just the right way, the assayer can confirm to the king that this is correct, and this piece of gold truly is gold, or if it's a worthless rock, in which case he better look out, because the king may take it out on the messenger. But in truth, an assayer takes something that has no value, pretty much just the rock, and uses it to define and determine something of perhaps very, very enormous value, a piece of gold, or to determine if it's worthless. What I would like to do in this channel is use the power of experimental reasoning, of observation, and of evidence-based thinking to assay, to test theories of everything that have come across all of our collective consciousness on this channel and in other places around the web. What I would like to do is assay and test the veracity of different models of cosmogenesis, the origin of the universe, origins of structure of space, time, and matter. And in so doing, I want to take you along for a ride. So I call this project the Assayer Project. Doing what Galileo did 400 years ago, not as good as him, but I'll do my best to use the tools and technology of modern experimental physics and astronomy to test whether or not these new theories, these new models, these new claims are truly worthy of our attention. So come along with me on what I call this magical ride, taking back to what Il Maestro Galileo did 400 years ago in a magnificent book called The Saggiatore, the Assayer.